You finally hit $1 million. The number you've been chasing for years. The goal on your vision board. The dream you whispered to yourself on hard days. And then something unexpected happens. You sit there. You stare at the account balance. And you wait. You wait for the feeling everyone promised you. The wave of relief. The rush of happiness. The sense that life has finally, completely changed. But the wave doesn't come. Instead, something quieter arrives. Something nobody warned you about. Something the millionaires you admire never post about on social media. Because here's the truth that almost every millionaire knows but almost nobody says out loud. Reaching $1 million changes your bank account. But it doesn't change you the way you think it will. Today, we're going inside the real experience of crossing that $1 million line. The good parts. The surprising parts. And the parts that will genuinely shock you. Stay with me. Because this video might be the most honest thing you've ever heard about money. Most people spend their entire lives imagining what $1 million feels like. They picture freedom. They picture confidence. They picture a version of themselves that is permanently, deeply happy. But imagination and reality are two very different places. The millionaires who've actually crossed that line tell a very different story. A story full of unexpected emotions, surprising new problems, and a few genuine moments of joy, but not where most people expect to find them. This isn't a video to discourage you from building wealth. It's the opposite. Understanding what actually waits on the other side of $1 million is exactly what helps you build the right kind of wealth that actually makes your life better. Let's get into the real story. Reality 1, the feeling is much quieter than you expect. Ask any millionaire what it felt like the moment they crossed the line. Most of them pause. They think about it. And then they say something that surprises people. It felt quieter than I expected. Not silent. Not disappointing. Just, quieter. There's no confetti. No music. No dramatic shift in the atmosphere around you. Your coffee tastes the same. Your morning looks the same. The world keeps moving at exactly the same speed. And for many people, this quietness is actually their first shock. Here's why this happens. Human beings are remarkably good at adapting. Psychologists call it hedonic adaptation, the tendency for people to return to a baseline level of happiness regardless of what happens to them, positive or negative. A pay raise makes you happy for weeks. Then it becomes normal. A new car excites you for months. Then it becomes just a car. $1 million follows the same pattern. The thrill is real, but it fades faster than most people imagine. Here's the aha moment. The happiness you feel after reaching a big financial goal is real. But it's temporary. And the people who don't know this spend the rest of their lives chasing the next number, thinking $2 million, then $5 million, then $10 million will finally deliver the permanent happiness that $1 million didn't. What this reveals, joy after wealth is real, but it comes from how you live, not how much you have. Reality 2, your relationship with money gets more complicated, not less. Most people assume that reaching $1 million means money stress disappears. It doesn't. It transforms. Before the million, money stress is about scarcity. Not enough to pay bills. Not enough to save. Not enough to feel safe. After the million, money stress is about preservation. What if the market crashes? What if I make a bad investment? What if I spend too much and lose it? The fear doesn't leave. It changes shape. Many new millionaires describe a strange anxiety that surprises them. Watching investment portfolios drop 10% hurts much more when 10% represents $100,000 than when it represented $5,000. There's also a new weight called decision fatigue. Suddenly there are real questions to answer. Where should this money live? How should it be invested? Should I hire a financial advisor? What's the tax strategy? What about estate planning? These are good problems. But they're still problems. And they come with real consequences. Here's the aha moment: wealth doesn't eliminate financial stress. It replaces low-stakes stress with high-stakes stress. The game gets bigger, and so does the pressure. The difference is that wealthy people learn to manage this pressure with knowledge and professional support. They build systems. They hire experts. They create structures that handle the complexity so they don't have to carry it alone. What this reveals: financial peace at the million-dollar level is earned through knowledge, not just the money itself. Reality 3: some relationships quietly break. This is the reality that millionaires talk about least. Money changes relationships. Not dramatically, not overnight, but quietly, steadily, in ways that are very hard to predict. Some friends start acting differently. There's a subtle distance. Conversations feel slightly off. Old jokes about money land differently now. And sometimes, without any argument or clear reason, friendships that lasted years simply fade. Family dynamics shift too. Some relatives grow closer and more supportive. Others become distant, or worse, start viewing you as a resource rather than a person. This isn't universal. But it's common enough that nearly every millionaire mentions it when asked about the real changes in their life. Here's the aha moment: wealth doesn't just reveal your character. It reveals the character of the people around you. And sometimes, that revelation is painful. The millionaires who navigate this best are the ones who build new communities, people at similar life stages who understand the unique pressures of managing serious wealth. What this reveals: money is a magnifying glass for relationships. It makes good ones stronger and weak ones harder to ignore. Reality 4: you finally feel what real freedom tastes like. Now here's where the story gets genuinely good. Because alongside the surprises and complications, something real and beautiful does arrive after the million-dollar mark. Freedom. Not the Hollywood version, private jets and endless parties. The quieter, deeper version. The freedom to say no. No to a job that drains you. No to a client who disrespects you. No to a commitment that doesn't align with your values. No to situations you used to tolerate simply because you needed the money. This freedom is real. And for most millionaires, it's the single greatest gift that wealth actually delivers. Here's the aha moment: the most valuable thing $1 million buys isn't a product or an experience. It's options. The ability to choose differently than you could before. For many people, the first time they turn down something they previously had no choice but to accept, that's when the million truly feels real. Not at the bank. Not on paper. In that moment of genuine, free choice. What this reveals: true wealth is measured in options, not possessions. And options create a freedom that no paycheck ever fully can. Reality 5: purpose becomes urgent in a new way. Here's something almost nobody warns you about. When money is no longer the primary problem, a bigger question moves into its place. Why? Why am I working? Why does this matter? What am I actually building toward? Before the million, purpose is often postponed. I'll figure that out when I have more money. Right now I just need to survive, save, grow. But once survival is solved, the purpose question becomes impossible to avoid. Many new millionaires describe this as disorienting. The goal they chased for years is reached, and suddenly there's a strange emptiness where the drive used to live. Here's the aha moment: money can solve financial problems. But it cannot answer the question of what your life is actually for. That answer has to come from inside, and wealth simply removes the noise that was covering it up. The millionaires who thrive long-term are the ones who find a new purpose quickly, something that matters beyond the money itself. What this reveals: wealth clarifies the question of purpose. It doesn't answer it. Reality 6. Your future self thanks your past self every single day. This is the reality that makes every hard year worth it. After the million, there's a deep, quiet gratitude for every sacrifice made along the way. Every evening of saying no to expensive nights out. Every year of driving an old car while investing the difference. Every uncomfortable conversation about money. Every moment of delayed gratification. It all compounds. Not just financially, emotionally. Millionaires describe looking back at their younger, disciplined selves with genuine love and respect. Because that version of them, the one who stayed consistent when it was hard, is the direct reason life looks the way it does now. Here's the aha moment: the sacrifices never feel worth it in the moment. They always feel worth it in hindsight. What this reveals: discipline is a gift you give your future self. And your future self never forgets it. The big picture. So let's bring this together. Reaching $1 million feels quieter than you expect. Your relationship with money gets more complex, not simpler. Some relationships shift in ways you didn't predict. But genuine freedom, the freedom of real options, arrives, and it is absolutely real. Purpose becomes the new frontier. And every day, you feel grateful to the version of yourself that stayed consistent. This is the real story. Not the highlight reel. Not the social media version. The actual, human experience of crossing that line. And here's the most important truth of all. None of the good parts, the freedom, the options, the gratitude, are exclusive to millionaires. They're available to anyone who starts building the right habits today. The $1 million mark is just where those habits finally become impossible to ignore. So, does this change how you think about the $1 million goal? I hope it does. Because the real prize was never the number. The real prize is the person you become on the way to it, the discipline, the patience, the clarity, the freedom. The number is just the proof. If this video gave you a more honest, more complete picture of what wealth actually looks like, share it. Someone in your life needs to hear this today. And if you want more real, unfiltered content about money, wealth, and the truth behind the numbers, subscribe. No hype. No shortcuts. Just clarity. See you in the next one.